Hello, everyone, or as I usually like to say, "Annyeonghaseyo." If you don't know what that is, yes, I love keep the tradition, keep it with it. I
Yeah,
did not curse you out. I promise you, I didn't. That just is the formal way to say hello in Korean. My name is Blerd Sunbae. You know, Sunbae being the Korean equivalent to senpai for all my K drama girlies and guys out there, and of course, Blerd is being Black nerd. And we all are in for a real treat today. Like this is definitely a first for me. Probably a first for you all. Who knows? Especially on this platform, and I'm so excited to have the honor and privilege of sitting down with Mr. Brandon Daniel. I wish I had a soundboard. I'm gonna be the soundboard.
there we go. Right. I'm gonna do my little
Yes.
you know what I
Little
mean?
wave, little wave, little wave. And we had the pleasure of meeting at DreamCon this year. I got a whole bunch of DreamCon stuff from over the years in
Oh
the
yeah,
bag
mine's
for us.
all over there.
Yes, sir. Represent.
Got to.
And it was just such a pleasure getting to see your show and just like hear your comedy and like, what makes you you. I don't want to spoil too much. So how I'm gonna start this is by asking you to tell us about yourself, whatever it may be, a little bit about your journey. It could be where you're from and what life is like, some fun facts, however you want to start. The floor is yours.
All right, cool. Well, my name's Brandon Daniel. Originally from Miami, Florida. You know what I'm saying? 305 stand up. You know, we out here.
Do y'all throw out the M?
No, we don't throw up the M.
Okay, that's a Memphis thing. That's me over here.
We
Okay,
don't throw up the M over here. No. Um,
dang.
no.
Okay.
First generation American. My family's from the island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Don't worry, I know most of you ain't never heard of it. It's cool. If you ever
You can
visit,
educate us.
there you go. It's two island nation in the Caribbean, the first English colony in the Western Hemisphere. So fun fact. Alexander Hamilton was born there. Fun fact. And yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and what was that song that was kind of popping? I forget what's the song. What was the name? Byron.
from
Byron.
Hamilton?
No, Byron Massey. What's the guy's name? Byron Massey. I'm gonna figure this out in a second. But he grew up there.
We're gonna get it together. And
Yeah,
those of you who are tuning in, help us out too.
I'm
Help us
gonna get
out.
you in a second. Put it in the chat. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
everybody related to me down there. So if you ever visit, you know what I'm saying, you probably met my cousins. Um, went to the University of Florida, so go Gators. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, you need to cut all
I'm
that
a
out.
volunteer, but okay.
No, no. Oh God. um, we
Let
gonna
us
keep it
know.
civil today. You know what I
We're gonna
mean?
keep it
We gonna
simple.
keep
We're
it
gonna
civil.
try.
Y'all not that bad. I've actually been to Tennessee while we played y'all, so y'all not too bad.
We're doing
Um,
okay. We're
yeah,
doing
y'all okay. Y'all okay. Um, a brother of Theta Sigma chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Uh, I ain't gonna tell y'all when I cross because I'm a little seasoned. You know what I mean?
okay.
A little seasoned. Bump that, man. We pride out here. Fall 10, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Really? We're not that far apart.
There you go. See, look, everything better with seasoning, baby. Because look, you know what I'm saying? These young cats, they unseasoned. That's boiled chicken.
Ooh.
There you go.
They need to
Come on.
marinate a little
Yeah,
bit
they need to marinate overnight for a little bit. You know,
overnight.
they don't got the sazon, as they say down here.
Ooh, it's fall 15 over
Oh,
here.
see, that's what you still young to me, but you old to the rest of everybody else, right?
To the rest of them.
Right. Um, so I went to Florida. That's actually low key where my comedy journey started, but not where my comedy journey started. I always wanted to do some stand up, but I felt like I kind of had a bit of a reputation as a little bit of wild, uncontrollable, um, way too loose, and that's my
Oh,
yeah.
okay. It's coming together.
That's the public reason for that name. I ain't gonna tell you the private reason. This is a PG chat. Um, so
PG
uh,
13 ish.
PG.
Ish.
Well, we're gonna keep it PG for that one. Might even keep it G
On my
rated.
mama's internet. Yep.
Mama's internet, exactly. So I never got to actually do stand up out there, but I did write some jokes. Never got to tell them. Right, time marched forward, and I ended up, doing the whole, professional thing. Was living in Tampa, moved back to South Florida, and the brothers at FIU had a spring break week, and they were doing like an open mic, and I was like, I'm finna just go and tell some jokes, and it was really cool. I actually I actually met somebody who's like a really like a decently big singer now down here, um, at that open mic. And then when I performed, people were asking me like, "Oh, how many years have you been doing comedy?" Years.
Oh.
It 5 minutes. What you mean?
Like
So
I'm that good. Okay.
yeah.
Where the check?
So I did from there I did a couple of different events, different like nightclubs and stuff like that. I actually opened up for Fat and Funny one time. I've done different places. Then I took a long break. Life was life, and things weren't so
Yes.
funny anymore. I decided to make my return 2021 back when the world opened back up. Had to get back to it. Had some ups and downs at first because you're not a real comedian unless you bomb. Like this,
Mm.
for those of you who don't know, you ever wanted to be a stand-up comedian or ever try your hand at comedy, if you don't ever have a moment where you bomb, where you suck, where you're trash, you're not a real comedian. Every comedian has one, even the greats. They still bomb to this day.
Yes.
To this day.
Yes.
But what bombing does, it's never a loss, it's a lesson. You don't get in your feelings, you go ahead and you start to work on your craft. So what I did was figure out like, man, where is there comedy always consistently happening in South Florida? And South Florida, fun fact, not really the best comedy scene. It's not like New York and
Oh.
LA's and Atlanta where I can just go from comedy club, comedy club. No, uh,
Mm.
it's very spread out. It's very sparse. You got to be in the know. But I figured out that we have two improv comedy clubs. Like this there, and they typically have those in major cities like the LA Improv or whatever they want to call it, right? So we have the Dania Beach Improv, we have the Miami Improv, and they do open mics once a month. You sign up, you bring 10 people at least. It's a free show for them. They just got to buy 2 drinks, and then you get your 5 minutes. And so I used that as my essentially my this is my practice now. So for every month, I was going to be on stage at least twice, and I was going to tell these jokes that I have sitting in my notes, right? Um, and for those
Mm.
like a lot of people will write their jokes. Some people don't write their jokes. I think it's funny. I listened to Kevin Hart talk about how he comes up with jokes on I think it was like MSNBC or CNN or something. He had a little special, and he was basically like he writes down 3 points and then freestyles it when he's on stage, and he just does it over and over until he figures out the joke. And he has his boys there, and they're kind of like helping him figure out the structure of the joke. That's essentially my same process. I don't really write things down. I like know the general direction I want to go in. We gonna massage it. We gonna do it over and over until all right, this is the joke.
I like
Uh,
that. Build the plane as you fly it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So and sometimes you're gonna crash, but you got what I'm saying. We just build it back and do it again,
And get
right?
back up there.
Yeah.
I
Like
love it.
I've had jokes where I told the joke and I was like, hey, I know this premise is good, but I didn't like this joke, so I, cut a bit out, put it somewhere else, rolled it into a different joke. Okay, now we booming. We got something here. And so how I ended up at DreamCon not this year but last year. So
Mm-hmm.
last year was my second DreamCon. I went to the last one in Dallas. That was my first one, and I was like, man, I could do some comedy out here. Like when I come back next year, I'm gonna do some comedy. I remember telling people that. I'm like, I'm gonna do some comedy out here, and lo and behold and lo, I ended up doing some comedy. I have a good friend of mine. She's I'm not gonna name who she is, but she makes things happen over in DreamCon. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, she hears the vendor thing, cool, cool, cool. Uh, I was supposed to do, I think, 20 minutes to open up for Roxy Hayes, and I think
Oh
Roxy,
yeah. Shout out
shout
Roxy.
out Roxy, Roxy, funny as hell. If y'all don't know her, follow her. She's great. She's out in LA doing her things. Black woman. She shut it down, but supposed to open for her, but Roxy had to cancel last minute. And so DreamCon hit me up and was like, "You still interested in doing the show?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just 4 days out. Yeah, sure. All right, cool. You gonna get the whole hour. You got the room. You got the whole hour. Uh,
Oh my God. I would have been
oh, I was because I'd never done an hour before. I mean, I think the most at that point
wow.
I probably done 20 minutes. So
Mm.
but I had material, and the beautiful thing was I was on stage, I think 3 times that week going into DreamCon. So I was just working the same material over and over and over. And all I did was take, the material from those 3 different days, put them together, and wow, now I had, you know, a 40-minute set, right? And I went up there, I say it like this: that was a raw dog performance. There wasn't no DJ, wasn't no light. I ain't even had nobody introduce me. Is me, a stage, a room, and some people, and
Oh my gosh. How did I end up missing that? I go every year and there's
But
so
see,
much
it,
going
it
on
was like,
every
yeah, it's so
year.
much going on. That's the thing. Like DreamCon is so much going on. It's so many great things, and like the show was like, I think it was about the same time as the Disney karaoke like sing along that O runs.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think it was
what it
the same
is.
exact time, and I was like, oh dang, I couldn't even make it. I wanted to be at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sing some Mulan, some Hercules. Oh yeah, look,
Oh,
hey,
you got multiple levels,
oh
too.
be a man. Look, hey, I'm in. Let's get down to business. Come on, man. Come on, man. We gonna
Oh,
do that every single time. Get some drinks
karaoke
in me.
next time.
Oh, look, get some drinks in me. I'm doing zero to hero. I can go the distance. What? Come on,
Oh,
man.
we're getting this together next year because I
Oh, look.
literally interviewed the person who was over the karaoke
Yeah,
room last
yeah.
week, I think. So we're gonna get this together. We're
Oh, we're
gonna
gonna
get
do
this
that. We're gonna do that. That's how I get through road trips when I'm driving. I don't know if anybody's ever driven through Florida. It's a long state. Uh,
together.
and
Yeah.
I have a, I have a business of my own where I like do deliveries across the state. So, I get the road trips playing Disney soundtracks. So that keeps me up. Yeah,
Wow.
we singing because we can't fall asleep on this road.
Ooh,
But
get some albums.
yeah,
Yeah,
just run it.
quick. How long
So
is that, like, from top to bottom? How far is that, Florida? Like
Florida,
10 hours or something?
if you went from so top to bottom, now the bottom of Florida is Key West, right? So that's already 4 hours from Miami, right? Yeah. So that's the bottom.
Oh,
That's by Cuba.
no.
That's 90 miles from Cuba. So that's 4 hours, right? So now you go from there to Miami. Now, if you wanted to drive from Miami to, let's say, Florida Georgia line, that's about 6.5, 7 hours, right? Let's call it six.
Mhm.
Let's call it 5.5, because I know you can get to Gainesville about 3.5, 4, and another hour and a half so to the Florida Georgia line, and then yeah, it's a long drive.
Ooh, if I had to evacuate, I'm
Oh yeah,
swimming at that
I don't be
point.
going
I'm
nowhere. I ain't gonna lie to you. When them hurricanes come, people be talking about evacuate. I'm like, shh.
You're one of those?
Hey, look.
No.
We live very like west, so we're not like in the water. We're not by any like water or anything.
Oh.
And you know what? We done been through so many storms. It's like all these buildings are built up to code. We sit in between 3 different hospitals. I don't even lose power during hurricanes.
That
My
makes
Wi-Fi don't even go out.
probably
And
because being in those hospitals.
yeah, like people be like, oh, I ain't got no power. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy.
Okay, we'll let you off the hook then. It was a little judgment that slipped in for me. I
Oh,
was
I
like,
know,
oh my
I know.
gosh, he just a storm watcher
Nah,
and
see,
he
but
just gonna let it
y'all
fly.
look, y'all new to this. We true to this. Like we've been through Hurricane Andrew, we've been through Hurricane Wilma. Like we've been through these things. So they've
Mm-mm.
been,
I need
you
land
know,
around me.
not to segue real quick, but the hurricanes used to really come like directly into Miami. They've been going around to the other side and up into the Gulf. That's why y'all over there, like people over in Texas, Louisiana, the west coast of Florida, they've been getting hit a lot in the Panhandle, and Alabama and places. And if they haven't been doing that, they've been
Mhm.
going more north and hitting like North Carolina, even New York. That one year they hit,
Yeah,
and it's like
that's
those
true.
places aren't used to hurricanes, so there's like no preparation there. Whereas
Mm.
down here, it's like, all right, bro, like we about to have some days off from school, days off from work. Make sure you got the
It's another
grill.
vacation.
Oh, it be like we get bust the grill out afterwards. The entire
The
neighborhood comes.
grill.
Yeah, because if you power out, you got to use propane. So now we grilling for the whole neighborhood, and then all the kids
Oh my
playing manhunt.
gosh.
If the lights are out, we playing manhunt, hide and go seek, whoop de woo. Like this is the time you go explore, see you go. You know how Christmas time you go around and you look at the people's lights and be like, oh, the lights are real nice.
That's really what you do.
After hurricane, you be like, man, that tree really fell down on that house. That's crazy.
That's wild. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you deep in it. You deep
Oh
in
yeah, yeah.
Florida. So,
And then you go look and you see animals all over the place. So you be like the
oh
iguanas,
no.
gators, and you be all snakes. You be like, damn. We live in Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Park. Florida ain't nothing but diet Australia.
Diet Australia is crazy.
Yeah, it's like
That's we're gonna have to quote that.
yeah, Florida is nothing but diet Australia. All the animals could kill you, all the people crazy, and there ain't really no laws. Like,
uh, y'all a whole separate part of
oh,
the
it's the
U.S.
wild, wild
altogether.
southeast over here. But
Southeast.
yeah, so I did that comedy show. It went off really
Mm.
well. A lot of my friends, it was their first time seeing me perform, and they were like, "Bro, you actually like funny." I'm like, "Thanks."
I was like, you ain't believing me? Like,
we,
what's going on?
but people, there's a lot of people who are funny as friends and conversationally, but then you get on stage, it's a whole different beast, right?
And
I
so, sorry to interrupt, but so
but
your first time at DreamCon was also your first time performing
no,
on.
second time at DreamCon. The first
Okay,
time I went
okay.
to Dallas, the last Dallas one, the first Austin one, that's when I performed, and then this second Austin one, that's when I
Mm,
performed again.
okay, okay. And somehow I didn't even run into you. That's crazy. That's how you know it's growing.
There you go. Look, it's a lot of people. I remember the Dallas one, and then coming to the Austin one, I was like, oh, it's a lot of Negroes here, boy. Like it's a lot. Whoo, it's a
That's
lot.
what it's supposed to be. Like,
Yeah, I remember. I think when my set, I'd asked there was some white people there, and I was like, hey, I don't know if y'all like me. I thought DreamCon was for black folks. So hey, Mr. White Man, you lost. Like, how'd you get here? Like, how'd you find out about this?
it's
He had
like,
a baby.
what the
He had a,
world?
they had a baby with them. I'm like, it's a baby here. This is how I know y'all ain't even checking IDs. How the baby get in here? So yeah,
That's it. Just come on through.
like, look, we just you don't need no badge. Look, yeah, all right. But yeah,
That's so
so
crazy.
then the second time in Austin was the next comedy show. Friend hit me up. You interested in doing comedy? Oh no, I was reaching out like, hey, I'm trying to do the comedy show again. They were like, oh, the panel applications are closed. I was like, dang. Oh well,
Mm,
I'm just gonna be a regular guy then, a little civilian.
just here.
She was like, nah, but on the low, low, this is when Kevin on stage was doing his whole like, oh, I'm into anime now, right? You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of traction getting, just
Yeah, a lot of
right,
pull coming in
right,
from
right.
that.
And they were like, on the low, we trying to see if Kev wants to come to DreamCon and if he wants to do a comedy show. Would you be interested in performing? I said, "Psh, would I be interested? And this was way back. This is way back, and I was like, yeah, let me know. Time went on, time went on. She was like, yo, are you still even coming? Like, what's up? Like,
Dang.
you ain't send me no video, and I hadn't gotten some video or whatever, so I had to go get some new footage. Uh, worked on some jokes. A lot of the same jokes that you guys saw at DreamCon were what was in the video, and it was funny because I don't know if y'all noticed, but they sent out a DreamCon funny. They sent out, and uh, this is not me insulting DreamCon. The staff is
No,
yeah,
I always like, even when I do like interviews for like newcomers and stuff, I ask people to be very like open and honest
yeah,
about their feedback and
yeah.
all that. So
I
it's
just
all part of growth.
Yeah, no, I just want to say this because I do want to be invited back, but I just think this part was funny. Okay, so
Okay.
they had sent out a list, an email beforehand, and they were like, "Hey, these are the things you can joke about. These are the things you can't joke about. And if you're not a part of these communities, you can't joke about." I was like, "God damn, I can't say
Wow.
that."
Uh-oh.
But I
Change
can't
it
say.
all around.
Oh no, I ain't changed a single thing. Um, and so when we get on stage, it was funny. So I'm back there with backstage with Tut Weezy, Roxy, I forgot other brother name, who was on the comedy show back there with them. And we like prayed, whatever got Kevin, we prayed, cool. And so
Mm.
everybody about to go on, I'm about to, start the show. I'm the opener. So I open the show and my first lines, the first words out of my mouth are DreamCon, what the is up? And
That's how you
then
get everybody lead. Like,
right. We
we
here,
here.
we popping this thing open. And then you remember my jokes. It was a little, it was
Yeah.
a little, it ain't PG no more. We here, you know what I'm saying? We here.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
So
great. It was great.
I appreciate it. And so I get off stage and everybody like there, bruh, we so glad you went up there and started cussing because they said we can't cuss. And I was like, when they said that? When did they say that? I
Oh
missed
no.
I missed that memo. So DreamCon, if y'all see this, I apologize for cussing. I ain't know I wasn't allowed to cuss. I didn't see the memo. Please invite me back. I promise you. I'm a cuss again.
That I just feel like they will, because like if you look at like the open ceremonies, some of the main events, like with A&P and like some of the other groups and guests, and in the closing ceremony, I feel like people were kind of saying some words that may not have been PG. And it was just people being they were just being them. So I feel like that's not gonna close you
Hey,
out.
look, hey, I hope not,
You
because it's a comedy show. I hope there are no children in the audience.
know? Yeah.
Why you got your child? Like last year with the baby, I'm like, the baby was there. The baby snuck in. This year we don't want no
Mm-hmm.
babies. We don't want no toddlers, no teenagers, no. But no, it was a phenomenal experience. Got to meet Kev on stage. Like,
I was about to say, how was that? Is that one of like the biggest like collaborations, or I don't know like if there's like a different term for it, but is
I
that one of
mean,
like the
that
biggest?
he's the biggest person I've worked with. Biggest person
Okay.
I've met is Dave Chappelle and Drake.
Oh
So
wow.
that's
Oh,
that's where we're at. So
okay.
yeah, that
Oof.
the Chappelle story is hilarious to me because uh
You gotta tell it.
okay, yeah, nah, I'm an open book tonight. Um,
Yes.
so this is 2010. I just crossed. It's winter break. And we're on South Beach because some of my fraternity brothers who crossed same time but different school. We call them our Sands. Uh, one of them was turning 21, right? So he's having a party at this hotel. So bro ain't realized, hey, I'm turning 21, but a lot of the people who are coming to this party, my peers, are not 21. So we trying to
Mm.
figure something out. So everybody just outside. It's about 40 people outside, right? We out there, we just talking whoop de woo. I'm telling a story to some girls, and my back is to like the walkway and crowd, whatever. So I'm telling the story, and then all of a sudden I hear behind me just a bunch of gasps. And I'm like, what's going on? I turn around and I'm like, oh shit, it's Dave Chappelle. And he walks up to me and daps me up and he goes, what's up, my nigga? And then walks away.
I would have
And,
been. I was like, did somebody record that? Like, what? Get
and that was
the
the
get the cameras.
that was the exact moment I decided that I was gonna do stand up comedy. You know what I'm saying? He passed the baton. You feel me? Like,
Man,
so
hey,
I have to
pass the
get big enough,
torch.
right? I got to get big enough where I get to meet Dave and I'd be like, bro, you not even remember this, but this happened, and now we here. He gonna be like, that's
Wow.
cool, little nigga, and smoke a cigarette or whatever. 'Cause Dave Chappelle does.
That
Um,
was so perfect because that was gonna be like a part of like what I was gonna get into a bit more. It's like how like you were like, okay, this comedy about to do it for real, you know. So that was that turning point.
I mean, jokingly, no. Jokingly, yes, but no.
It was
Um,
like it was already part of the plan.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. To be honest with you, there was no plan. That was kind of the thing. Um,
Really?
very much, I come from my parents are Caribbean, right? So when you get sent to college, you have three options. You can either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a disappointment.
Dang, not a
Right.
disappointment.
Boy. So
Ooh, that's tough.
hey, so
That's tough.
I started off pre med. Ah, oof, that got changed quick. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to law school. But then I was like, I actually don't want to be a lawyer. That is not my dream. That is not my desire. These are my parents' desires. They wanted to do those things.
Hmm.
They didn't get to do those things. They're trying to live out their life through me. All right. So now I become the rebellious child
The
because
disappointment.
the disappointment because I'm like, nah, I got to figure this out myself. Um, and so there's I'm a I'm a creative person, right? Uh, very much inspired by a lot of the things that from watching anime from the time I was a kid, reading tons of books. I'm big on like sci-fi, fantasy, um, reading a lot of mythology. I'm huge into mythology. Um,
Mm.
Even looking at my own religion from a objective secular point of view, like, hey, yeah, this is my belief system, but I'm like, let's dive into the mythology of Christianity, right? So I like
Mm.
looking at that stuff, like understanding that stuff. I'm like understanding how people thought before they had Google, right? Like, what did they believe in,
Hmm.
right? Before they had all the answers in the palm of their hand, literally, what did they believe in? How did the world work? So
Okay.
I write stories of my own little. I'm working on a whole fiction series. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do it like a
Oh.
novel or a manga or even just put scripts together and try and get stuff animated. Still trying to figure that out. But
Okay,
my,
we're getting the details
yeah,
here. I like
but yeah,
that.
um, So I do a bit of that, and so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna write, and I've been writing, but it's like, until you like make it as a writer, them bills be billing, and you not making money to pay them.
Ooh.
I'm saying, look, we need to go back to the time when people used to pay artists to be artists. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come live with me,
Mm.
focus on your art. You don't got to worry about nothing else. We need that back because
Shout out to J. Cole's landlord. I
people
heard
don't
that
like
was.
that. You feel me? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or even Jamie Foxx and Ed Sheeran. Jamie Foxx and Ed Sheeran living on his couch.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't
like,
know that.
bro, come live with me. But back in the day, elites used to pay. It was like a sign of wealth to pay this artist to, yes, work on this masterpiece. While
Mm.
in my home. You know what I mean? We need that back.
That
Um,
makes because they do that in a sense when it comes to science. Because you put money into research and development,
mhm,
and you don't know necessarily the outcome or if it's going to work.
mhm,
But there's so much money, and they're essentially creating like an art in a way.
mhm.
For hopefully some type of discovery that may take however long. So
So
I mean,
another little
same
fun fact,
concept.
right? Another little fun fact, and I just realized this. The only podcasts I listen to are podcasts on writing, so I'm very like niche about what I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And one episode of a podcast I was listening to, they were talking about grants for writers. So if there's anybody in the chat or anybody listening to this, and you are an artist, a writer, or whatever, grants.gov, you can look up in your area.
Let me
Um,
type that.
and you can actually, I hope that's the right website because I think that's what it is, but you can get grants. They're like grants from the state, grants from different organizations, federal grants. There's some grants that pay you to go live in a cabin for 6 months and do nothing but focus on your craft. You know what I mean? So they're out there. It's just a little bit different. You're not people aren't inviting you to come live in their home and do the stuff anymore. But now they're like, hey, we're gonna give you this money.
Yeah.
We just need to see the outcome, right? But
Okay.
so me, figuring out my path, I was like, all right, cool. I'm a creative writer, whatever. When I was in high school, I did musical theater, right?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I wasn't playing football, I was on stage, doing pas de berets and step kickball change and handstands and all kind of different things. I was the lead male dancer, right? To
You
this
do
day, I do a
everything.
little bit of everything. So little hats that I can just kind of put on, take off. To this day,
That's awesome.
my football coaches, my nickname was Denzel because they were like, "Oh, you just think you a regular old Denzel, huh?" And to this day, to this
Don't
day,
hate.
to this day, to this day, that's if I walk on that field, Denzel.
Oh,
There we go. So,
that's so funny.
but so it's like, all right, let me look to the things that in figuring out what to do with my life. Let me look to the things that make me happy, right? So, being creative, being imaginative, uh, putting the abstract in my head into concrete. Cool. Uh, I've done some acting, of course. So I actually have an IMDb profile. I'm in a movie. Um, yeah,
Oh, y'all look. Hey, y'all better look them up.
look,
Y'all
don't worry.
recognize.
It was like a little duck off role. I was like a slave in a flashback, running through the dark in the woods,
Denzel. Okay.
running through the dark in the woods in like Orlando. It was like back. I ran through a spider web. I'm like, oh, I hope that thing ain't on me. It was crazy. It was crazy. Oh, but it's looking to the things that speak to my soul, essentially, right? Things that make me
Mm.
happy. And the one thing I knew that always makes me happy is putting smiles on people's faces. Like, no matter what, entertaining people is what makes me happy. Because it's probably the thing that I can wake up and do no matter how I'm feeling, even if I'm in a bad mood. My bad moods be people's best mood. So like, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I wake
And
up
you
and
operate different.
yeah,
You
it's very
operate
yeah,
different.
it's very hard for me to get like super down in the dumps. It takes a lot. Takes a lot.
That's a
Um,
blessing. That really
oh yeah,
is.
it's like wearing armor. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, just shrug it off, keep moving. If something
Spirit
bad
of the
happens,
Lord is here. Just keep
hello,
going.
hello. Um,
Amen.
Look, and we don't judge a tree by how it grows, but we judge it by its fruits. So look,
Mm.
hey, look, I'm a kid raised up in the church. So look, hey, I be throwing Bible verses out. People be like, Weren't you just at the strip club?
Be like,
Look,
okay, but my priorities are still,
look,
you know, in
and
order.
and who was Jesus with? He was with the harlots. He was with the. Come on now, where you at with him? No, I'm playing with it.
You're like, so you judging Jesus too?
Right,
Crazy,
like,
you know?
you ain't trying to hang out with the Pharisees. I'm with the strippers. Anyway, so this is just part of my journey now, right? Like just figuring out how I can convert the energy in me to influence the energy in others. So stand up comedy is one avenue that I've essentially fallen into, right? Like this is, a lot. I, I'm going to be a little not humble for 1 second, right?
Go
So
ahead.
a little not humble. I'm my harshest critic. I don't genuinely think I'm very good at stand-up comedy, right? This is just me being I'm my harshest critic. However, when people see me and they see me perform and they see me perform amongst other people, they're like, "Nah, bro, you're very good at what you do, right?"
Mm.
And I'm getting to the point where it's like, all right, now I need to step out of my comfort zone. This Florida, like South Florida, is too small. Like this is too small of a pond for a big shark. So I need to go ahead and start doing my traveling, get into other cities, get my name out there, really dive into maybe the internet game. I'm not really big on the whole internet skit stuff. I'm more of a stand-up comedy. You get one take. This is where you got to see
Get
it.
out there in
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really oh man, that wasn't as clean as I wanted to. Let's edit this now. Um, and I fully believe that anybody who does internet skits, you should try if you're a comedian, an internet comedian, try your hand at stand-up comedy. It'll only better your toolkit. Um, but yeah, so go ahead and doing that with stand-up comedy stuff. Because of stand-up comedy, I ended up getting gigs as a wedding MC. So that's
Interesting.
I literally am wearing my shirt right now. This is be the MC because who else could be the MC
Oh,
but be the MC, right? Right. So,
get a shirt too. Wait a
right, branding.
I
Um,
know that's right.
and it's like I've now emceed weddings in Mexico. I've done different
Wow.
cities. Yeah, it's super dope because you don't think about what like who MCs a wedding until you're the person emceeing the wedding, and you're like, all right, well, I actually have some influence over how much of a great time these people are having and how memorable
Hmm.
these things are. And I tend to incorporate a little like poetry / comedy when I'm like introducing people, so it's making things memorable. Um,
And
so
I'm still listening. I need to turn my fan off because it's about to pop this balloon on the side. But
oh, don't do that.
I'm still
Don't do that. Oh no.
all right. We're good. Look, going to a probate later. Can't be having that pop on me. Okay.
Ooh, shout out. More Zetas.
Oh no, this is a gym friend of mine. Carson Delta.
Okay. Shout out.
It's
I
all
ain't been.
D9 love.
Yeah, of course, of course. I ain't. When the last time I
Oh,
was.
it kicked into turbo gear. Oh my goodness. Okay.
You
Whew.
clicked the wrong buttons, man.
It goes backwards.
right,
Technical difficulties.
right, right, right,
Kind of
right.
like
Um.
okay. Be the
So
MC.
yeah, so I'm an
Weddings in
MC
Mexico. I
weddings,
got you.
and then I do private bodyguard duty.
Okay, that explains the
Yeah, well, yeah. I like to work out. I used to train MMA, so I can like
Wow.
handle myself very well. Um, and I've gotten gigs, just being a high profile bodyguard. I have stories that I could tell, but they are absolutely not PG about the places that I've had to be a bodyguard at.
Oh,
No, 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 no.
a part of me. Okay, okay. Not
No,
on my
no,
mama's internet.
no. Well, I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. And this is my first time experiencing this. Um, Sex parties do happen, and very rich and wealthy
Mm.
people participate in these things sometimes at mansions.
Look, the stuff we heard in the news now. Oh, the world knows.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I was tasked with keeping my eyes open and making sure everything was cool. And being forced to watch things means you see things that you probably wasn't supposed to see.
Wow, that's
What
insane.
look, you telling me? I was
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's meant for my. I don't know if that's meant for anybody's eyes, but hey,
Look, hey, look,
doing
it's part of the
doing your
job.
job.
I got paid very well. I wasn't mad at it. And nobody died,
Shoot,
or did anything. So it was very easy job. Um,
hey, making
but
sure everybody's safe. That's cool.
that's it. That's it. Make sure everybody's safe. Make sure consent is being observed. Make sure nobody ODs on anything that they've taken.
And
They
you're
told
good.
they told me, "Do you know CPR?" I do. I used to be certified, and I was like, "I do." Okay, well, just in case somebody just ODs, you can. I was like, I'm not performing CPR on nobody,
I was
bro.
like, what y'all?
Bro, if you start to die in front of me, you are going to God. Why would I interrupt that? That's part of His plan.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not about to put my mouth on you and breathe into your lungs. No, I've
Uh-uh.
seen what you guys have been doing here.
Mm-mm.
That's
Mm-mm. I
crazy.
would have felt the same. I would have felt. I was like, dang, that's So you going to meet your maker? Amen. All right.
That's tough, buddy. Make sure see
That's
what you got in your
tough.
pockets real quick. I might need to, you're not gonna be needing this 100. Cool.
Dang. Okay, we got bodyguard. Okay, we got from performances to comedy along the way and bodyguard and MMA stuff. I mean, what do you not do? Like, oh my goodness. You're him. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself and be like, I'm him. Shout out Berleezy for saying that at the Easy Ball.
I want to go to Easy Ball. I've never so full disclosure,
Oh,
right?
you gotta go.
Full disclosure. DreamCon has introduced me to a lot of these creators. Like I've kind of like tangentially heard about people, but outside of RDC, and don't crucify me, I don't even be watching RDC faithfully like that. Like I was already in college when they were like getting their steam going, so I pop in for
Mm.
videos. I'm like, yo, these boys hilarious. But it'd be more so like I pop in, pop out. So when people was like, "Oh, I can't wait for Anime
Mm.
House #7 to drop," I'd be like, "7?
it's
I didn't
it's
know."
tough for me to keep up too, and I'm like the same age as like basically all of them. Like I think
Yeah.
Mark and I turned the same age in the same year. I was like, oh, and I was like, okay, I grew up with them kind of basically, but it's like keeping up with like all the numbers of different things, especially like sports, is not in my world. I'm just like, I'm just gonna enjoy what y'all put out, whatever it is. I don't know what number we on. I'm not gonna pressure you to keep I'm just whatever you want to do. I'm
And
here
see,
for it.
that's what I like about them because it's like they do the anime stuff, they do the nerd stuff, and then they got the sports stuff. So I'd be like, man, I'm talking to my homies who not in the anime community at all or don't watch it, and I'd be like, I could say, man, you 36, and they know
36.
exactly what that is, right? So you got to shout out Mark and them boys. Like they really have like a great product, and I like to watch them succeed, right? I like to watch them succeed.
Mm.
I do need to go to Easy Ball because Berleezy. Oh, what's the one dude who like everybody is like he's just the nicest guy? What's his name? Is
The
it
nicest guy.
like he's kind of short? I feel like start with a K or something. Not Kaisa. Not no. I'm sorry. He's
He's
Kobe.
usually with Berleezy or something,
I think
or
so. And he used to people. I was like, what is this guy? People are like, oh, he used to stream. He doesn't come on as often anymore, but like he's always ended with like a positive message or something like that. I don't know. I forgot his name.
are you talking about Poised maybe, or
No.
no? You said his name starts with a K, mate.
A or C or dang. See again.
I'm
I don't
trying to
really.
think who could have been there. Dang, that's on me too. We gonna get it. We gonna get it at some
Then
point.
it's just like I like seeing people do that kind of stuff because I remember growing up and being like,
You mean
people.
Corey Kitchen?
There it is, Corey Kenshin.
Okay,
I was
I
like,
was like, it's coming to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
him.
he's definitely on his own. He's taking his breather. Whatever's comfortable for him. I respect it. It's
I
been
didn't know.
over 10 years.
I didn't see, and again, I didn't know none of that. So I'm sitting here like, bro, where have I been? Like, I've been out here running the streets and doing, God knows what. And I'm like, man, these people doing like cool stuff just at the house, playing games and really building community. I think it's dope. Um, yeah, like I just everybody doing their stuff, their thing. I'm like, yo, I respect it. Primarily the ones who are doing things the right way or doing things, where
Mhm.
they're not causing harm to people. Because if there's one
Yes.
thing that you see is the fallout if something bad happens and a streamer gets associated with somebody who did X Y Z. And me not really being a person who watches people's streams, I'm like, well, now all I know about you is that you were,
Oh
let's
yeah.
say, apologist or something like that, right? So I'm just kind of like, well, you're never gonna get a fan out of me now because that's all I know about
That's
you.
your reputation precedes you.
Right, what I'm saying? And first impressions are everything. So, and that's something, as I step further into the entertainment industry, that's something you got to be really cognizant of. Like me personally, I'm always like, uh, man, do business. That's my pro fight.
Oh, we got more D9 in the building. Okay, shout out Foolies Clothing.
Yeah, that's my pro fight. His name is Alex. People call him Nemo. He used to wear a Nemo Fishman backpack. Great guy. Follow his page. Foolies Clothing. Foolies is a person who chases their dream foolishly, like ignoring everybody, ignoring
Oh,
the naysayers. Yeah, so feel free to go ahead and I'm over
mm.
here doing promo for him, bro. Where cut my check?
Cut the check. Cut me a check too.
um, so you
But
know,
yes, you got to go to Easy Ball
yeah,
for sure. Like this was my first year going, and did it cost? Absolutely for me doing every single thing,
hmm
but it was worth it, and I just they don't owe me a thing, okay? And I got to tell you, actually no, I got to take it back a little bit because you touched on it, and it's a part of you getting into like the convention scene when you're mentioning like being into like anime and books and what you mentioned, like Star Wars, or like
I
the
am.
sci-fi,
Yes, sci-fi.
sci-fi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what are your favorites in that like got you started?
Okay, get me started in favorites are two different things, right?
You
Um,
can say both.
okay, so what got me started with anime? This before you even thought like about what anime was. We saw a girl, watch Toonami and things like that, right? Before
Mhm.
Toonami, they used to show like Dragon Ball episodes, right? But we only had up until uh after Piccolo kills Raditz and Goku, and then the Saiyans are going to be coming on their way, right? And then it would just start over. So I probably watched those episodes maybe 30 times, right? Like just over and
They
over,
stay
like
starting those over.
over, yeah. And then it was like, okay, now we got to Vegeta and them. They're here. Oh, but Frieza is out somewhere there, and then we start over, start over. Toonami really hit their stride when they started getting all those episodes. The next time on Dragon Ball Z, blah blah blah, right? Talking about
Yes.
we'd be playing football out in the street, and we'd be like, "Oh, bro, hey, it's about to be 4:30." Everybody just run into somebody's house, turn on the TV, watching Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, Tenchi Muyo, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's when you really got into this stuff, right? And like to me, it was just dope cartoons. They in there, they're throwing hands. They're hey, I'm standing on business about my friends, my family, my girl, and that's really what it was. To me, it was never like, oh, this is anime. As I got older and started reading manga, I think that was about 13, 14. That's when we used to hit those pirating websites to get like the Naruto, the One Piece, right? So that's when I
Made it
really
work.
hey, hey, look, if you gotta get the product, you gotta get it however you get it, right? It's like smuggling. So we reading these things weekly, and it's like, oh man, this is a whole different like culture, a whole different world that I'm being opened up into. So that's really how I got into the whole anime thing, right? Now, my favorite of all time is Full Metal Alchemist, right?
Oh,
That's my
my
favorite story.
heart.
Yeah, like my favorite story. It's one of the 5 things that I recommend to anybody who has never watched anime. I'm like, if you never watched anime, I recommend you these 5 things based upon things that you're into. It's Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note, Attack on Titan. Um, these two are kind of like not technically anime, but whatever. Avatar: The Last Airbender and Arcane on Netflix. So, and
Mm.
I recommend most of these because they're very short, and it's like depending on what you're into, I can hook you with something, right? Um,
Okay, and I gotta ask you about Full Metal Alchemist just a tiny bit.
Go
Now,
ahead.
are you a person who prefers like to say the difference between Brotherhood and Full Metal Alchemist, or like what's your opinion on that?
Because Brotherhood is technically the what the author intends. Like that is my favorite. I enjoy Brotherhood more. And
I
there are
respect that.
things that happen in Brotherhood that I love more. I I have to keep going back and watching the '03 one because I don't remember everything. And even I watched it 3 times, but I don't remember everything. It's great. Don't get me wrong. There's just certain things I'm like, nah, I just like Brotherhood better. You know what I'm saying? Like Greed comes back and he's Ling and all that. I like that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just where I'm at with that. Um, in regards to like my favorite, I guess like sci-fi series, I'm a big Star Wars guy. Like I love Star Wars.
I got a long way to go on the sci-fi. I
Yeah,
got a long way to
yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah. And sci-fi is very interesting because a lot of it's boring, to be honest with you. But like,
I wasn't gonna say nothing. It
no,
takes
this
me a
this is
minute to
no,
get
like,
into it.
yeah, no, it's no. I'm gonna keep it a band with you. A lot of stuff is boring. Star Wars is cool because it's really just samurai space wizards, with glowing swords. Like that's fire.
You can get active with that.
And then if you understand how George Lucas, was creating Star Wars, he was just lifting things from Akira Kurosawa, the Japanese director. So Star Wars is quite literally just some samurai stuff,
Mm,
samurai
it
films.
bridges the gap.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, this makes a connection for me. Like, oh, boom, anime. Oh, boom, Star Wars. Okay, cool. So if you ever want to have a good time, Disney Plus has Tales of the Jedi, and there's like 1 or 2 episodes that they're done by Japanese studios. So they give Star Wars the full anime treatment. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Mm.
Like, um, let's see, sci-fi wise. I'm
I
more into
think for me, the only like sci-fi that I truly gotten into might have been like, I don't know if it counts, but it's called like The Orville. And dang, it was like the voice actor for like Brian from Family Guy, I think, who was like the lead character. And it was just like sci-fi comedy in a
mm,
way. So I think with a little romance, maybe it's because the girl, just girly stuff, but
for sure.
that's what pulled me in.
Yeah, for me it was, I probably play more sci-fi video games than I like watch or read stuff. So the Halos, the Mass Effect series, like those things, because of their stories being, encompassing space and the human condition and meeting extraterrestrial life forms. Um, those drew me that way, but you know, most of that stuff boring to me. Takes too much.
Look, it just depends on the person and the patience. I
Right,
understand.
you gotta catch me on a good
Now,
day.
yeah, look, catch you on a good day. Now, I am curious. Are you a cosplay type of guy, or do you like, anime casual, kind of just chilling when you go to cons?
So the first time I went to DreamCon, I did not cosplay. Um, I was chilling, right? But I was like, oh nah, man, people going, they're going ham over here. Like the amount of detail and effort and money that people put into these costumes, I'm like, well, I might as well do me a little something. I could do throw together a little razzle dazzle now. So
Mm-hmm.
next year, which was what was this? Not this past DreamCon, but the one before that. I did
Okay.
I did, like Yusuke Urameshi and then like an Akatsuki from Naruto, right? Like kept it simple.
Mm.
I already done the Akatsuki for Halloween, and then Yusuke Urameshi, you just, we wearing some green stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it worked out because my best friend, he showed up and he was Koenma from Yu Yu Hakusho, like the little baby with the pacifier joint. And we didn't plan that, but we're like, oh, we here. You know what I mean?
See, comes together.
Yeah. And I think this year, what the hell was I this year? I did something this year. I can't remember. I can't remember. I know I cosplayed, but I can't remember what the hell I did. But we ended up,
That's how you
you
know you had a good time.
yeah, man, yeah, man. I'm not the. I was Badman Vegeta. Jamaican Vegeta, what I like to call him, is Vegeta
Oh,
man on the back.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I call him Jamaican Vegeta. I was Jamaican Vegeta, and then my best friend was Android 17, and so it matched up again. I was like, oh, hey,
Oh, y'all on the same wavelength. That's
yeah,
what it
yeah, yeah,
is. That's what it
whatever.
is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I ain't, we don't. What's understood don't even need to be said, dog. Um,
Mm-hmm.
his wife kind of got beef with me because she always wants to do like a couples cosplay, and he always says no. And then
Oh, you actually touching on a sensitive point for me. I never got to do it either, and I'm just like,
yeah, but
one day.
every time she says no, and then me and him show up in the same like like a cosplay that matches, and she's just like,
She has every right to be upset with y'all,
You
okay?
didn't plan it.
I am team her, okay? Because I am an advocate for couples cosplay. Never got to do it. And hey, who knows? Future Mr. Sunbae, we're gonna have to get with the program. Okay. We're
I
gonna
like
have to get
I
with
like
it.
how he's Mr. Sunbae. That's right, girl. You put your stamp on him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Got to.
But yeah, no,
Now I am
no,
oh no,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
I'm not the biggest cosplayer. But I would love to one day. I have ideas. I just need time, effort, and discipline. Because what people do, I'm like, man, it take a lot of time. It's a lot of arts and crafts.
It does.
I can
It
barely
really does.
I can barely
Party
cut
City is my
straight.
best friend.
Oh, see, yeah, can't can't do it. I'm like me and scissors. I can't even cut straight. So
At least as long as people feel that you put your heart into it, it's okay. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. Now another part of what's kind of in the back of my mind, and express yourself however you want to, of course. Um, what is your opinion on the direction that comedy is going? And what is it that like you're looking to do within the comedy industry, like as you continue in your career?
I'm about to express myself the only way I know how to express myself. I'm about to be very real for you here. Um,
Good, good.
I'm gonna use one of those N words I asked you about early on. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do it too often, but I'm gonna use one of them, right? So a lot of times people are talking about because of the direction of you know I hate when using this term the way people use it. Well, people think they say things are too woke now, and they feel like,
Mhm.
oh, comedy, you can't be a comedian anymore because you say something, you'll get canceled. And I'm like, nah, nigga, you just be funny, be funny, like be funny, bro. Like, what do you mean you worried about getting canceled? Say something funny. Like, if what you're saying is just mean and not funny, guess what? You're not. I was about to say something else. I was like, we trying to keep this. Um,
PG 13 ish.
13. I was gonna call somebody a kid, but whatever. Um, yeah, man, comedy to me is like it's like any sport, and I look at it in a very competitive sense. Like basketball in the 70s was not basketball in the 80s, was not basketball in the 90s, and wasn't basketball in the
Mhm.
2000s. People get bigger, stronger, faster. They learn new moves, they learn new techniques. You have freaks of nature like LeBron James who, redefine what greatness is, and now you have to change your game, right? Or you have somebody like Steph Curry who's changing what kids are doing now. We're all going to shoot threes because we want to be like Steph. Comedy's a lot like that. Um,
Mhm.
People are, what worked in the 90s isn't necessarily going to work in the 2000s, in the 2010s, 2020s, right? It's constantly evolving. So you have two choices. You either adapt or you die. And nobody enjoys dying. And they're going to complain and blame everyone else on them dying when they really could have just chosen to adapt. And it's
Mm.
that simple. So, hey, if the joke you told 10 years ago isn't funny because you can't say a certain word anymore without people giving you pushback, well, you probably shouldn't have said that word back then. You got away with it then. We can't let that fly now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's to me, it's very much the comedy. You know, it's expanded past the comedy club. It's expanded past the stage. People are doing the internet stuff and you know just a cell phone and I like Tony Stadavici. You know what I'm saying? I love his stuff. Right? I
Shout out.
love Tony's stuff. I had the pleasure of getting to meet him real quick at DreamCon. Actually, I asked him the question about what I'm about to say next. But people are redefining what comedy is and how people consume comedy, right? However, all of that to me is you still need a foundation on the stage.
Mm.
I always tell everybody the stand up comedy, the stage, that's the gym, that's the weight room. That's where you get strong. That's where you get big. All that other stuff, that's steroids. That's fake.
Huh.
Yeah, like that can
Okay.
gas you up. You can get a ton of followers. You know, but like there's nothing real under there. You just a hot air balloon. You just a bag full of water. Get you some real muscles. Get you some real strong bones, a strong foundation. Get on stage, work on material, bomb, be terrible, but get better. Because nobody walks into the gym and is the strongest man in the gym or has the body that they want. They got to work for it day in, day out. They got to be disciplined on how they eat. They got to look at different, they hit different plateaus and then they have to reassess where they're at. It's the same thing. And that's how I feel about comedy.
Wow. That is real. That is real. And it's funny that you mentioned Tony because I got to, as press this year, I got to sit down in his press conference and he was mentioning, the reality of the social media and get into this fame really quickly. Like it's social media. It's not meant to just, you know, be like the long run thing. It can be here today, gone tomorrow. You could get shut down on there like in a couple minutes, and then what? And so for you to talk about the muscle, and that's within this industry and within any business, you have to adapt, or you see a lot of businesses that just don't exist anymore because they want to keep with what they have going on, and that's just not what the times and the people want anymore.
Look, Kristen,
And
I'm gonna
it's
say,
tough to balance,
Kristen, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't think it's that tough to balance. I'm gonna say it like this. The what
Mm-hmm.
you never want to be is Blockbuster. You
Oh,
what you never want to be is
mm-hmm.
Blockbuster. Blockbuster had their model. We used to love Blockbuster nights. And then the red box kiosk came along. And then Blockbuster was like, that's never gonna work.
They
Boom.
did.
Started putting them out of business, right? Then Netflix came along. Oh, where they gonna send? They'll send you the whatever you want right in your mail. Blockbuster was like, that's never gonna work. Boom. Now Netflix is multi-billion-dollar streaming service, and Blockbuster has one store.
And
Again,
that's closing. Might have already closed now.
right. Matter of fact, no, it's more like a museum now. Like you can have like a sleepover there. So again, yeah, I think it's in Seattle, if I remember correct. I wrote about it for one of my a job I had a couple years ago. Um, but it's again, it's adapt or die. Don't be Blockbuster.
Mhm. Wow. I think it was really refreshing to hear you say that, because I think what I tend to like expect, or like what I hear often is like, okay, maybe like, people are too sensitive and, I'm going to stay rooted with this and stuff. But it's refreshing to hear. It's like, okay, like in the grand scheme of things, what's wrong with moving with like where everything is moving towards, like being more aware of what's around you and your surroundings, and, what's best for where we're going right now, you know?
I'll also say this, Kristen. Um, uh, Cancel culture and getting canceled is a myth. It actually doesn't exist, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
There will always exist 100 people who agree with you and are fans of you. And if those 100 people spend money on you, you'll be able to live a life, a better life than most people actually. So when people complain about getting canceled and I'm losing opportunities, okay, you probably have some other ones with people who agree with you, and yeah, sure, they might be degenerates and blockheads, but
It's the
money
audience for
is an
everything.
audience for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
money is green, whether it comes from the hands of a stupid person or not. So to me, complaining about cancel culture is asinine, bro. Just I look, you did it, bro. Stand toes down on what you did. If that's the path you want to choose, continue to walk down that path. But don't get mad at us for letting you walk down that path and us saying, yeah, nah, we gonna go this way.
Right. People have every right to choose what they want to tune into.
Telling you,
That's
people don't understand,
absolutely
man.
right.
We don't have to like you. We don't have to let you be in our space. Like that's just bottom line. So what do you want to do? Do you want to be, liked and have a ton of opportunities, or do you want to have, your niche and that's just what you do? Either way, you probably live a comfortable life.
That's true. Got to be true to yourself
Yeah.
and understanding of what reality
And
is.
if being true to yourself means that you are a piece of shit, be the piece of shit.
Be like, at least you being you.
At least you being used, all stinky and shitty. I'm sorry, mama.
Now, She'll understand,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
not me. Now, like I mentioned before, somehow, some way, this hour went on by. Okay,
yeah,
this
yeah.
hour flew. It really did. That's how you know we were having a great time. But before I bring this to a close, I want to just say this last little thing, which is there anything that I might not have asked or that we didn't discuss that you want to speak on? And if not, is there something that we can look forward to from you in the future?
2025, y'all are gonna see more of me. Is what I say. 2025, y'all are gonna see more of me. Um, this year was dealing with some things that occurred, and I'm bringing those things to a close. So 2025, you're gonna see more of Brandon Daniel. Big laughs, bigger stages, hopefully. I want to be where people are. I actually want to do more comedy shows. At different anime conventions. I want to work at anime conventions like the Chitlin circuit. You know what I'm saying? Like we I'm at BlerdCon. I want to be where are the niggas?
Look, that a everywhere,
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah. And I'm
Because
trying to do it.
that's I think I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen a segment like that before at conventions, like as many as I've been to. So that's like a growing aspect, at least from my perspective.
Mhm.
And I think that that's a wonderful touch to anime convention. And that's very much us. Like, from that to basketball tournaments, like that's us. Like,
Yeah, come on now, come
I
on now.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna see a bit more of Brandon Daniel in the coming years. We trying to be around the country with it. So city near you
Yes.
pop up. I might be wooty woo. Where you at right now, Kristen?
Oh, Birmingham, Alabama.
I might pop up in Birmingham. You know what I'm saying?
Come
You know what I'm
on,
saying?
look, what's the comedy place here? The Stardome, I think,
There you
is what
go.
it's called.
There you
And
go.
there's plenty of little spots around here. Look, I'm gonna be tuned in, just like all of y'all should be.
Yeah, boom. And then look, if y'all looking to follow me, I'm on Instagram, way too loose. That's WAYTOOLOOSE. You can follow me there. You can follow me on Twitter. Same there. I'm on Blue Sky now. So you can follow me
What's
there.
Blue Sky?
Oh, that's like, because everybody's like, man, Twitter trash because Elmo is over here running into ground using it for propaganda. We going over to here to Blue Sky, which is started by the old owner of Twitter. So, type in Blue Sky. It's got a little butterfly. It's a little cute little design, nice little interface. Um, Boom. So yeah, and we'll
Had to
see.
make sure I got it out there for people to see on the
I
screen.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot of things I want to do. I'm putting myself in a position to do those things. So we got a
Mhm.
lot. We got a lot planned. We got a lot. We want to see what we can make come to fruition.
I can definitely see the way that you working, you reaping what you sow. It's coming. And I can't wait to, stay tuned in and locked in on the journey. I'm excited and just again so happy to, have figured out the time, and I appreciate you working with me on that again.
Of course. And look, in the future, you know, you got premium access to me. So
Yes, look, I'm thankful. It looks like we had a question, a follow-up here that just popped in. Are you
are you
thinking about short
short
form
form content
content?
using social media to push comedy outside of just reposting the video after the show? No. Yes, I am thinking about that. Yes, that was you might have missed that before you got in here. That was a topic that me and Kristen talked about in regards to the social media aspect of comedy and how that works. But that's in the wheelhouse. Again, things that are coming. We're just putting ourselves in a position to drop those out. Um, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're gonna have some
Stay
things popping.
tuned. Stay
Stay tuned.
tuned.
Podcasts, you know, everybody got a podcast nowadays, but different things to just uh to talk to the people, It's like a state of the union, but for niggas.
Look, need that. Okay, look, like I said, y'all lock in.
Y'all lock in. We gotta talk
Lock
to the people.
in. Yes. And thank you so much again. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who tuned in, either tuning in live or tuning in the future. Please share this as much as you like. This is on Twitch and YouTube. So, I mean, clip whatever your favorite parts are and tag both of us. And like I said, stay locked in. More coming from both of us. You know, I'm on my own little journey too, doing different things.
Doing your
And
thing.
thank you. This was wonderful. I really appreciate it. So, like I always say, I'm not gonna hit y'all with too many foreign words, but I'm gonna say "sarange," which
Oh.
means love you. Sarange and Sunbae out, y'all. Peace.